Hi guys, this is chapter 10 and it's going to really focus on stress responses and stress management. Stress is the body's non-specific response to any demand made upon it. Stressors are physical or psychological factors that produce stress. Any stressor, whether perceived good or bad, can produce a biological response. We know that we all need the presence of some stress to provide just interest and purpose to life. However, too much stress can cause distress. Stress management is that ability to experience appropriate emotions and cope with stress. The patient that manages stress in a healthy way is flexible and uses a variety of coping techniques. Those patients that can successfully manage stress improve stress-related medical conditions and improve functioning. What we don't know is if severe stress causes a vulnerability to mental illness or if vulnerability to mental illness influences the likelihood of adverse stress responses. So let's get started here with our chapter. I'm going to start you off with our case study here. So Maggie, she is a college student and she is experiencing stress in her life. I don't know what to do, she says. I mean, this is supposed to be the awesome, exciting time in my life. Finally going to college. I love college. I love being a student, but honestly trying to juggle my schoolwork, job responsibilities, and single parenting is starting to make me feel pulled in a million directions at once. So the earliest research into the stress response began as a result of observations that stressors increase the incidence of physical disorders and made existing conditions worse. Stressors can be acute or chronic. Walter Cannon referred to acute stress response as the fight or flight. And I think we probably have all heard that. That's that body preparing for a situation that the individual perceives as a threat to survive. Hans Selye defined stress as a non-specific response of the body to any demand for change. He incorporated the fight or flight response, and he expanded on that theory of stress known as general adaptation syndrome, or you might see it as GAS or GAS. The three stages are alarm or acute stress stage, resistance or adaptation stage, and then exhaustion stage. So when we think about alarm or acute stress stage, that's that initial stage. It's brief and adaptive responses kick into that stressor. Resistance is an optimal resistance to the stressor that can occur. Stressors are overcome and recovery, repair, and renewal can occur. Exhaustion is when the attempt to resist the stress it becomes futile. Resources are depleted and the stress just becomes chronic. So when we go back to Maggie, she's that college student. She's aware that she needs help. On the 3 afternoons a week before she starts classes, she has lunch with her 2-year-old daughter on campus, then goes to a yoga class right on campus that also provides childcare. After yoga, her sister picks up her daughter and Maggie goes to class. I'm trying, Maggie says. It's still not easy and I feel a little bit overloaded, but this is at least making some difference. It's a start and it's a step. So which stage of general adaptation syndrome is Maggie most likely experiencing? Is she in the alarm, resistance, exhaustion, or none of the above? So pause the video here. Think about it. So the correct answer for this is B. She's in the resistance stage, also called the adaptation stage. It's during the time sustained or optimal resistance to the stressor occurs. Usually those stressors are successfully overcome. Recovery, repair, and renewal may also occur. So for Maggie, she is in this stage. Hans Selye also noted that individuals become energized by both negative and positive events. These reactions are distress and eustress. Distress is being a negative, draining energy that results in anxiety, depression, confusion, hopelessness, and fatigue. So an examples of distress might be a death in the family or maybe some financial overload. When we think about eustress, this is a positive, beneficial energy that results in happiness, hopefulness, and purposeful movement. So maybe a vacation, playing your favorite sport, that would all be a beneficial energy. During times of stress, serotonin production becomes more active. Serotonin being a brain catecholamine that plays an important role in mood, sleep, sexuality, appetite, and metabolism. And it is one of the main neurotransmitters for depression. So what are the mediators of the stress response? Stressors can be physiological, including the environment conditions. So things like trauma, heat, cold, can all be stressors. They can be physical, meaning maybe I have an infection, maybe I'm bleeding, maybe I'm hungry, maybe I have some discomfort. Or they can be psychological, such as a divorce, a loss of job, financial overload, death of a loved one. So those are all mediators of this stressor. The perception is also a mediator. It's not always the stressor itself that determines a response, but it's the perception of the stressor that might determine the person's emotional and psychological reaction to it. Individual temperament is also a mediator. Social support, a strong social support can enhance mental and physical health and act as a buffer against some distress. Support groups, there are many support groups out there for everyone. Quality and fit are always factors to have to be considered. Other mediators might include your culture, spirituality, and religious beliefs. So what can we do as nurses to help manage our patients or our clients' stress responses? Some standardized screening tools might include measuring the stress with a social readjustment rating scale. With this scale, it measures the level of positive and negative stressful life events over a year period. So this isn't a short-term thing. It's going to take a while to get through these standardized tools. Other screening tools might be Recent Life Changes Questionnaire or the Lazarus Cognitive Appraisal. We do know that people cope with different stressors in different ways. A number of factors can act as effective mediators to decrease stress in our lives. 4 personal attributes that people can develop to manage stress are health-sustaining habits. That means we're complying with our medical treatments, we're eating properly, we're finding those relaxation techniques. Life satisfactions, we're happy with work, with family, with hobbies, we're taking walks, we're enjoying art, all of those life satisfactions. Our social support and effective and healthy response to stress. So as Maggie continues to develop ways to manage stress in her life, she works at developing those 4 coping styles as much as possible. Already, the yoga class and lunch with her daughter has become an effective and healthy response to stress that is also health sustaining. In the area of social support, she relies not just on her sister, but on a group of single parent students she finds on campus who meet to share things that work for them. Unfortunately, poor stress management leads to increased physical and emotional conditions. There's not one single stress management technique that feels right for everyone. Practicing relaxation techniques is going to help your patients reduce their stress levels and also help you manage your own physical responses to stressors. Biofeedback is gaining greater awareness of many physiological functions of one's own body. So exercise trackers, smartwatches, clip-on devices that can measure those respiratories, that's going to give you that biofeedback. Deep breathing exercises, that's that focus on breathing slowly, deeply, and evenly. Guided imagery focuses on pleasant images to replace negative or stressful feelings. This can be audio recordings. It's very individualized for patients and their specific situation. Progressive relaxation eliminates muscle contractions by deliberately tensing a group of muscles as tight as possible for about 8 seconds and then releasing that tension you have created. Meditation and mindfulness. Meditation trains your mind to develop a great calm and then using that calm to bring penetrative insight into one's own experience. And a lot of times that's done through yoga. Mindfulness is just being in the moment. So all of those relaxation techniques can really help manage stress. Other ways to relax might include physical exercise. So things like yoga, walking, biking, they can cause release of endorphins that lower anxiety and promote relaxation. Cognitive reframing is that attempt to change the individual's perception of stress by reassessing a situation and replacing irrational beliefs. So for example, a student may say, I can't pass this course. A health professional that uses therapeutic communication techniques can help that student reframe that thought into a positive thought so that they may state, if I choose to study for this course, I will increase my chance of success. Guided imagery, we've talked a little bit about already, remembering that that's very individualized for that patient's specific situation. Journaling allows for a therapeutic release of stress. It can ease anxiety, it can ease worry, it can also ease obsessional thinking. And then breathing exercises is that last one, and this can help decrease rapid breathing and just promote relaxation. And that concludes chapter 10. If you have any questions, you can shoot me an email or we can chat about it in class. Thanks, guys.